Hey there YouTube, this is Showcase Watches today, bringing you a video about the Omega Seamaster Heritage 300 coaxial master chronometer. This reference number is 234304121030001. As previously mentioned, this is the Omega Seamaster Heritage, and this one is in the beautiful blue colour. This is my own personal watch, which I wanted to bring to the channel and show you guys. The story goes that I went to my authorised dealer to pick up the NATO strap for my Omega Seamaster No Time to Die, and this was actually in the case. So I haven't got hands-on with this blue variant. I got hands-on with the black version, but I never got hands-on with the blue version. And I tried it and absolutely fell in love with this beautiful, almost royal blue. I think the royal blue with the little bit of faux patina just works absolutely stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. So a little bit of spec on this watch first. So it is powered by the Omega in-house caliber 8912. That is a coaxial master chronometer. It is both METAS and COSC certified, so it's been through all the vigorous testing and is anti-magnetic to 15,000 Gauss. You can see the movement on the reverse side. It's actually a beautiful, really beautiful movement. It's a nicer looking, I don't know if it's because it's a larger display back, but it's a nicer looking movement than the caliber 8800, which is in the just standard professional model. This is a much nicer looking movement, and I think it's probably because the display back is bigger. On the professional, if I can get it to focus, on the professional model, the display case back isn't as big, and I don't know if that gives a sort of an optical illusion, but this is absolutely beautiful with the Geneva wave, the Geneva wave. Obviously, it's a machine finished movement, but it's still absolutely beautiful. You can see it in the light there. It's absolutely stunning. So yeah. It is a 60-hour power reserve, so it's got a very healthy power reserve. In comparison, the Omega Seamaster Professional is actually a 55-hour power reserve, so this actually has 5 hours more. Not that I think that 5 hours in real life is going to make much of a difference to you, but it's got it nonetheless. It's a 41mm case. Like I mentioned, it is in the blue. It's a stainless steel case. It's 300 meter water resistant, anti-magnetic to 15,000 Gauss. Obviously it's got the screw down crown with no crown guards. So yeah, so what I'm going to basically do is just have a quick chat about the watch, give you my overall opinion of the watch. If you want to get exact case dimensions, if you want to get exact specifications of the movements, if you want to get the far end of a fart on this watch, probably look at another video. I'm just going to give you my overall opinion of the watch and where I think it sits in the Omega catalogue, and what type of buyer this watch appeals to, and what market it's going to, it's sort of appealing to. So, like I said, I saw this in the showcase and I just fell in love with it. I absolutely adore the royal blue. I think the contrast of the brushed the brushed center links and the polished outer links works perfectly. The predecessor to this watch was actually the other way around. It was actually center polished links and brushed outer links. Hence why I never owned that watch, because it just didn't make sense to me on a dive watch to have brushed center links. You guys know with my Rolex GMT Batman, the brushed center polished center links has always been a bit of an issue to me. So, but I absolutely adore the flat link bracelet with the highly polished outer and the brushed inner, same as my Omega Speedmaster Ed White, and the 50th anniversary of the Apollo landing, the Apollo 11 landing, my Speedmaster 50th anniversary. That is also the flat link with the outer polished and the inner brushed. Going back to the case, so the case has got the brushed on the flanks, so the brushing on the... So this is done the opposite way around to a Rolex Submariner. The Rolex Submariner is a brushed case with polished on the edges, whereas this has gone for brushed on the edges, and it gives you more polished on the face. If I can show you where I'm meaning is here. So you can see that the polishing is here and here, whereas on the Rolex Submariner, that's actually brushed, and the sides are polished. And the reason for this is quite a simple one. When you put the watch down, it scratches, it moves around. So if you had this highly polished, you would scratch it more, which is an issue with the Rolex Submariner and some of the Rolex watches, is because they polish this area, you can get a swirl effect if you put your watches down on a night time. It is an anti-magnetic sapphire crystal. Now it's an anti-reflective sapphire crystal. Anti-reflective coating on the inside, not the outside. So one of the common complaints of the anti-reflective coating on the exterior of the glass is that it can mark and leave little scratches or a little bit of blemishing. So it looks like it's a scratch sapphire, but it's actually not. It's a scratch in the anti-reflective coating. Now this has anti-reflective on the inside, so it cannot get scratched, whereas on the outside it's just left as normal sapphire crystal. So this is actually best of both worlds. You get the anti-reflective coating, but you don't have the risk of it scratching, which I'm a big fan of. Obviously it's the broad arrow handset, which I adore, and I think this is the equivalent of Rolex's Mercedes hands. The broad arrow is it's Omega through and through. This has so much Omega heritage running through it. Everything from the straight lugs on the case down to the broad arrow, the sandwich dial, absolutely beautiful. So the sandwich dial actually gives a beautiful depth to the watch, whereas applied indices builds the watch up to the glass. A sandwich dial has the opposite effect. It actually gives it depth into the watch case rather than the other way around. So this is the opposite to applied indices. Applied indices, you apply the indices on top of the dial, whereas a sandwich dial is a sandwich of, obviously you've got the base, which is where the loom is, and then the dial's placed on top with the cutouts so the loom shines through. You've got everything on this is printed, so there's no applied indices, no applied marker. Everything is printed on the dial. You've got the bezel, which is actually an anodized aluminium bezel, so it's not a ceramic, which is for me a big win. As you guys know, I'm not a ceramic fan. I don't like ceramic bezels. I just find that they give the watch an overall too flashy a look. I really appreciate the aluminium bezels. I like the fact that aluminium ages. I like that this watch will get patina over time, whether it be scuffs on the case, scuffs on the bezel, and obviously because the dial is also aluminium, that will age and patina as well. So I really like that that Omega do that. Same as Tudor do the same thing. They don't use the ceramic, they actually use the aluminium instead, which I really like. Same reason I like vintage Rolex. I'm not a big fan of the modern Rolex, but I absolutely love the vintage Rolex. So going on to the bracelet, so this is a beautiful flat link bracelet, as previously mentioned, polished on the outer, brushed in the center. It tapers beautifully from a 21mm. Now the 21mm between the lugs will be an issue for some people who like to, like myself, I have a strap collection, which I swap out different straps, and I didn't actually know this was a 21mm when I bought the watch. It wasn't until I tried putting on a couple of my blue straps did I realise. So it's a 21mm lug width, which will mean if you are a strap guy and you like, switching out onto leather, or whether you like switching out onto a NATO, you will need to add a few more to your collection in the 21mm size. Fortunately, I do have a few because I've owned a few Tudor Black Bays in the past, and they come as a 21mm between the lug. I'm referring to the 41mm version, not the 58. The 58 comes with a 20mm gap, whereas the 41mm version comes with a 21. So I do have a few NATO straps for this watch, but not the ones that I'd have liked to have paired it on my Omega straps, and a couple. So it is a bit of a shame. Going on to the clasp. Now the clasp is absolutely beautiful. It is the typical Omega stamped stainless steel clasp with the twin pushers, all beautifully well made. You can see there. It does have a glide lock system inside, if I can get the camera to zoom, which you just press that little button there. So you press it, and it just gives, sorry, pushing it with the wrong finger, difficult to do with gloves on. There we go. So you can see there, it's just got that little bit of play, which gives you about a half link extension. So it just is enough to, on a hot day, if your wrists are sweaty and you've expanded a little bit, it just gives you that extra little bit just to make the watch a bit more comfortable. It does not have a diver's extension, which is obviously the Seamaster Professional does. So it's just an overall beautiful watch. Oh, and one of the most important things I forgot to mention, the bezel, the markers on the bezel all illuminate on a night time, so they're all loomed, and the loom shot on this watch is absolutely incredible. Looks absolutely fantastic on a night time. The loom on this watch is really, really good. Very, very clear. And you've got the dome sapphire crystal there, so it just gives the watch such beautiful depth to it. It's absolutely stunning. The bezel action itself is a very, very crisp feeling, quality feeling bezel action. It doesn't have any movement there. It's really, really good, positive movement. What I like about this watch so much, and what I like about the 1957 and all the heritage models, is the fact that the bezel and the dial are separated by this highly polished steel ring. And what this does is this really cleverly makes the bezel a really nice thin size and keeps the dial proportionate. If we didn't have this separating ring, you'd end up with a really thick bezel, or you'd end up with a really fat dial. And either one of those would spoil the aesthetic of the watch. So I think having this stainless steel, having this stainless steel, highly polished stainless steel divider between the bezel and the dial, I think is really, really well done. Just absolutely stunning watch. Absolutely stunning watch. Now, where does this sit in the market? Well, it's safe to say that this is not a professional dive watch. I wouldn't, say that this is something that people who are going to be diving for a living are going to be strapping onto the wrist. Having said that, what divers actually wear a proper dive watch these days? Most of them, dive watch computers or whatever, unless they're watch enthusiasts. Now, this is where the Omega Seamaster Professional is probably better suited. This is capable. This is absolutely capable. It's 300 meter water resistant, so it's as capable as the professional model. The difference is the professional model does have the diver's extension. It has the helium escape valve. You don't really need the helium escape valve, but it's there. The Omega Seamaster Professional is targeted, I feel, more at the professional range, hence why it's the professional. This is targeted more as a daily wearer. This is something that you can wear with shorts and a t-shirt, you can wear it in jeans, you can wear it in a suit. This could be your one and done watch. The Omega Seamaster Professional, I think, is a bit too sporty and a bit too hardcore to be a one and done watch. Whereas this one ticks all the boxes. This rides the, it can be worn with a suit, all the way down to it can be worn on the beach quite well. Whereas the Omega Seamaster Professional is a bit too hardcore to be a dress watch. That being said, Pierce Brosnan wore it in GoldenEye, and throughout his time as James Bond, he wore the Omega Seamaster Professional, and he pulled it off. So, who am I to argue? I'm sure most of you guys probably wear yours with a suit, but it's not its targeted audience. Whereas this watch is more targeted at a broader spectrum. This watch is more a one and done. This could be your one and done only piece. And who would blame you? It's absolutely beautiful. The blue is done in such a way that it won't clash with your outfit. So, it's not, you can see here it's a very distinct blue, but you get it in some angles, it's almost a black, and you get it outside in daylight, and it's a real nice royal blue. So it's a very, very clever colour, how they've gone with this. It's very, very, you can see there, it's a real nice deep royal blue. It's not going to clash. It will go with most outfits. It will complement most outfits and not look out of the way. The black variant of this watch I felt was just a little bit on the somber side, a little bit boring, whereas this colour just pops. I think if you're going to go for black, you go for more of a tropical dial. This blue just absolutely pops, and with that curvature of the dome sapphire, you can just see how it just distorts, much like the Omega Speedmaster Hesalite does. Very, very clever how Omega have done this. So yeah, where does it sit in the market? Well, the people who are looking at buying a Rolex Submariner would definitely be looking at this. Which one's better? Hard to tell. This watch to me feels more precisely done than the Seamaster Professional. The Seamaster Professional feels like a hardcore tool watch. It feels like something that you can just, take on an apocalypse with. Whereas this watch is a bit more, it has a bit more finesse. The finishing is a bit better. The edges are a little bit better finished. The bracelet is better finished. The clasp is better finished. Everything just feels a little bit more done, a little bit more finesse than what the Omega Seamaster Professional offers. Now, I own the Omega Speedmaster Professional. I love that watch. It is just a bit more hardcore than this watch. So this will appeal to the Omega Seamaster buyers, the Oris buyers. It will appeal to the Rolex Submariner buyers. It's definitely a contender. And I would argue that with the technology and with the build quality, I would say that this would arguably beat a Rolex Submariner. I think the technology and the movement is there. I think the quality in the bracelet, the taper is there. I think the bezel action is there. I think the dial, the beauty of the watch is there. Yeah, I would go as far to say as I would say this watch beats the Rolex Submariner, if I'm honest. People will argue it because the Rolex Submariner has applied indices. It has the white gold on the hour markers and on the hands. It has the ceramic bezel. So there's an argument to be made that the Rolex Submariner is better in that aspect. But as always, as you guys know, I'm an Omega guy. I will always prefer my Omegas to Rolex. I think it's a tough call. It's a tough call. Between this and a Rolex Submariner, it's a tough call. I think there's room for both watches in a collection. Between this and an Omega Seamaster Professional, this is the better watch, it's the better finished watch. But that being said, it's £1,000 more money. So, it has every right to be the better finished watch. It should be the better finished watch. It's more expensive. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos, and I'll catch you in the next one. This is Showcase Watches signing off, and thanks for watching.